Shall we store your weapons at the villa, as usual?
Are you sure? What makes you think you can win a battle of words against Lurko?
Certainly, but keep in mind he has enough evidence to condemn all of us as well. Even if we can destroy him and get him exiled, it may well cost us our own lives. Are you ready to pay that price?
You would question our resolve. Of course we will follow you, like we have followed you until now.
Slow down. What if I don't want to be part of a potential murder trial?
Does that mean you will not come with us?
All I'm saying is I would like to at least be asked.
We have faced many battles together. But it takes real courage to face certain death.
There is no need for this kind of doom and gloom. We can convince the Senate. Let us not base all our plans on the worst possible outcome.
This is the right thing to do. The gods shall favor us. Are you with us, Calada?
Of course I am.
It seems you have reached a decision. Very well. For a moment I had my doubts about you. For that I apologize.
Right. Let's go celebrate that we all made it back alive. First round is on me.
You can't defend yourself on an empty stomach. Eat up.
A wise choice, Domine. Too much food induces sleep, too.
Now that you're back from another war, what do you want to do next?
Precisely. We can't afford to underestimate our opponent at this stage.
Kikero and I will meet you in the Senate tomorrow morning to prepare for the trial.
Speak as if your life depends on it. In many ways, it may.
You look concerned. Children should never have to worry about their parents. Worry only about yourself. I'll be fine. That monster tore my family apart. Killed my husband and my dearest friend. I just hope they make him suffer. That is a lovely thought, dear. But I'm not sure what he will do if he's no longer our servus. Perhaps he does not want to be a citizen. I don't think so, dear. Somebody needs to run the house, and I need to prepare a feast for our guests. The grand feast we will have when you triumph in front of the Senate.
What's on your mind? Your cause is just, and I believe we can convince the Senate. However, our opponent is devious. That worries me. I worry that he will not obey the will of the Senate if the result fails to be in his favor. Will you obey the Senate if you lose? A rhetorical one. I knew you would give that answer. If it were not, our republic would be doomed. Those with the greatest power must be under the most exacting scrutiny. But to answer the question in the spirit I think it was asked, we have Kikero on our side, the second consul. This sort of situation is precisely why there are two.
It is a good day, my friend. I've been thinking. You've done the right thing by not crossing the Rubicon with the Legion. It's the right choice. You'll see. Calada was a bit preoccupied. She's concerned about Corvinus. You know that sneaky bastard is still unaccounted for. They won't. The Senate is a virtuous and wise institution. They'll see the truth of the matter. Kikero is probably the best advocate in the Republic, and he's the consul. But what do I know? I'm just a soldier. I hope you're right.
You should get some rest. Tomorrow's trial will require you to have your wits about you. Those who try to predict the future will only make a laughing stock of themselves. Those who are prepared for all eventualities win in the end. It was not only my duty, but my pleasure as well. Your father made me promise to take care of you, no matter what. Looking at you now, I can only feel pride. I just wish your father were alive to see these days. I've been through much, but I have to admit, these days I feel old. I think I want to see my homeland again. To tell you the truth, I feel like I'm ready to die. It would be nice to see Halicarnassos again first. Thank you.
We will have order in the Senate now! Debating the clarity of the augury will not be productive. The consul himself stands accused. Nothing could be of higher importance. Any other relationes shall be set aside. The result of this relatio again shall be decided per discussionem, and before the sun sets. You may continue, consul, but please, refrain from delving deeper into matters completely unrelated to our discussion.
Naturally. May I restate the necessity of using my actual title, Dictator, instead of Consul? Do you even know what Dictator in Perpetuo means?
The Legatus has a point. Your title was granted for a limited time in order to solve a crisis. Even though the time has not passed, we can certainly say the crisis exists no more.
I beg to differ. The crisis has evidently not passed. It has merely changed context. Allow my colleague Senator Antonius to display with clarity how unprecedented and absurd this relatio is.
Dear Senators, first let us consider the source and the spirit of the regulation that allows us to appoint a consul to the position of dictator. And yet, despite all this, we somehow ended up here accusing the very man who was tasked with the prevention of this crisis.
Thank you, Senator, for this detailed and above all long explanation of something we all knew. Our memories have been thoroughly refreshed. If that will be all, we will finally discuss the evidence presented against the consul. Let us consider the preponderance of indications suggesting your involvement in the Mithridates affair years ago. At the time, you claimed to have no knowledge of your brother's corrupt and treasonous activities. But it is clear now that this wasn't entirely accurate.
I do not like what you're insinuating. My brother died for his crimes, if you remember. Do you mean to say that he was wrongly accused? By your logic, anyone can be guilty of anything.
The Legatus has a point. We're not talking about some stranger. This evidence implicates your family, and you were never proven innocent. Do you have a counter-witness, Dictator?
I am the most important counter-witness here. Let me tell you my side of the story. Therefore, you cannot connect my activities to that war. In fact, it is fair to say my alleged relationship with Mithridates was only in the service of Rome.
Somehow, fair wasn't the word that came to mind. Shall we perhaps talk about the infamous invasion of Egypt?
Infamous is the correct word for it. The Legatus ignited a war in a land that was already a province of Rome. He brought chaos and terror to Africa.
The way I see it, he installed law and order, and saw to it that the rightful queen of the people now sits on the throne.
I must protest. This is highly unusual, having a foreign ruler comment on our internal affairs. And I suppose we have to take you on your word for that accusation too.
Of course not. Because that's where I come in.
We're listening, Queen Cleopatra.
Of course you are. Now I shall tell you how your dictator redirected taxes paid by our people into his coffers, and how he managed to get both his accountant and proconsul murdered in the process.
A chilling account, Your Majesty. Thank you for your testimony.
Once more, I must direct your attention to the utter lack of credible witnesses. Neither this legendary ledger nor the fictional accountant who wrote it are anywhere to be seen.
Then explain your presence in Alexandria at the time of the battle. Why would Ptolemy, who at the time was waging war against Rome, be on friendly terms with you?
I was trying to clean up the diplomatic mess created by your Legatus.
Interesting how you just tried to cast the Legatus as a foe. He was, of course, serving Rome at the time, and his campaign was declared bellum justum et pium by the Fetiales. Let us end by discussing the recent campaign against the barbarians of Gallia. You did kill members of the dictator's Praetorian Guard, didn't you, Legate?
Pray tell, why would my Praetorian Guard attack you?
Indeed, why would one Praetorian Guard attack another? Enlighten us, dictator.
Is that for me to answer? He should answer first.
I see.
I see Senator Antonius has something to add.
Oh, right. I thank you for this opportunity to talk about the history of foreign leaders being represented at the Senate. First of all,
once again, thank you for your detailed explanation of this important issue, Senator. Shall we finally proceed to decide now?
We certainly shall not. The sun has set and a decision was not reached. I believe this relatio is to be declared undecided.
Under normal circumstances, a decision has to be reached by sunset. But in light of the overwhelming and damning evidence against the dictator, I believe this relatio deserves a proper decision. We reconvene tomorrow at sunrise for the final decision. This shall give the dictator a fair chance to defend himself. One final time. This session is at an end.
Let's wait until everyone has left, so we can talk to Kikero in private.
I admit, I was rooting for you. But you really did defend your case excellently. Tomorrow's hearing will be a formality. You've pretty much won.
What you're doing is unexpected, but admirable nevertheless. It seems you're not beyond redemption when it comes to the morality of your actions. However, I want to be certain that you understand the gravity of what you've done. You have murdered the Praetorian Guard of a sitting consul. There may yet be consequences. The Senate is made of men. It is as moral as the people who inhabit the building.
I think the risks themselves are irrelevant at this point. The Senate has been convinced of Lurko's guilt.
Despite his futile stalling, you've made it clear to everyone that Ortelius Lurko's war in Gallia was nothing but a power grab. It serves no purpose to speculate about his motivations. All that matters is that the Senate has been convinced.
It's best to refrain from mentioning these accusations unless we can prove them. Compared to the level of treason implied, the murder of 2 Romans seems trivial. Should he repeat his accusations of murder, it is my hope to use precisely this argument to shield you from them. What is left for him to do? All legal options are exhausted. His legion is disbanded. Even Wixie is finished. And after today, his support in the Senate is gone.
Yet he remains at large until tomorrow. His lack of options may just make him desperate. I agree. We must stay vigilant.
What do you have there?
Food for the Legatus and his friends.
Let me have a taste.
It's for the Domini only.
My Dominus does not eat anything until I've tasted it.
Well, all right then.
Delicious.
That's odd. I haven't ordered any food to be brought here.
There is no eating in the Senate.
Oh, excuse me. I feel dizzy all of a sudden. There is an odd taste to this food.
Sit down if you feel unwell.
I can't breathe.
The food was poisoned. Where did that sower go?
Stay with him. I'll get help.
Armed men have entered the forum.
We brought your weapons.
Old man. He's dead. Lurko. I shall skin your back and lay you on salt. I shall feed your cock to street dogs.
Marlon! Grieve later, Bestia. They're here.
Make sure no one escapes!
Typical.
Corvinus! That honorless piece of shit! He got away!
Your mother is alone. We must hurry. Knowing Corvinus, he will either go there next, or he'll send someone for her.
He's dead.
I'm sorry. He was a good man. My friend. Your mother.
Meet us in the Regia when your family is safe. Our dear Pontifex, Maximus Aurelius Cotta, will be good to have on our side.
We have basically already won. This attack represents a clear legal victory.
Marcus, this is not the time.
The guards were attacked from afar. We may be too late.
They killed everyone. The villa is burning! Most of them already left. There are still 4 in the garden. She sought shelter in the study, just like last time. The consul himself? Certainly not. Should I inform the authorities? Thank you, Domine. May your swords be swift as Jupiter's lightning.
Sire, how long do you think it'll take to burn down?
It'll burn long into the night, that's for sure.
Should we be worried about it spreading to the adjacent buildings?
Nah, that's not our problem. I'm more concerned about the proprietor showing up to put out the fire.
That posh prick already lies dead on the Senate floor.
We really caught those thugs off guard.
If they expected mercy, they should not have started fire here.
Your mother is trapped in there. We have to get her out.
Use the water from the fountain to douse the flames.
Everyone, fill your water jugs from the fountain. We have to keep those flames at bay.
Please, is anyone still alive? Help! Oh, thank Juno.
Please, get me out of here! Everyone's dead. They had no mercy. They butchered the Serwi. Oh, I am bleeding.
You need help. Get her to a physician.
Of course I can. Everyone must hear about what happened here today.
Did you think they struck her by accident in passing?
Calada. Perhaps they were trying to incapacitate her. Or maybe they were merely incompetent.
Seems not likely.
At this point, I'd say nothing is impossible. Strike 2 birds with 1 stone and take her to the Regia. Cato and Cicero are waiting for you there, and the Vestal Virgins can treat Claudiana.
You are alive.
Indeed, he has failed for now, but that only raises the stakes.
I could not believe my ears when Cato told me about Liorco's betrayal. This shall not go unpunished.
He will need to come up with a very good reason for doing this.
I'd like to see him try. I shall keep her in the temple. No harm will come to her. You have my word. Of course.
What if he comes back for us? I don't believe anyone close to you is safe.
Your faith is inspiring.
We need to seize the initiative. Corvinus can't be too far away. As long as he's in the wind, we can't be safe.
Maybe, but it'll take some time, and we don't have much to spare.
I know where he is.
Maybe I can ask some of my friends in the Senate. Liorco must have allies, and perhaps some of them know a few things.
Highly unlikely. Chances are not even Liorco knows where that man is.
I know where he is.
An augury might reveal his location.
Will we set a chicken loose in the streets of Rome and hope that it guides us to him? Hardly.
I know where he is! He is at Campus Martius, hiding with a group of gladiators he has hired. We can go there and get him. These are men I have fought beside in the arena, who looked up to me once. I am certain. What if it is? Do we have a choice? He killed my magister. I will make no promises. Lucius Erucius Corvinus. We're here. Come out and play.
The entire ensemble is here. I guess you're ready for the final act. I have to admit, I'm impressed. I did not expect you to be able to find this place. This isn't the first time I've underestimated that Belatro. Taking out the old man wasn't my intention. He died in your stead. If anything, I'd say you killed him. Lurko has said that very same thing about you on many occasions. Pay no heed to his words. We work for the consul himself. Vitellius Lurko will ensure that no punishment of any kind will befall us.
We will tear that weasel limb from limb. Then there will be no one to protect you from the law.
I remember you, Tabat. We fought lions together in the arena.
Bestia Tabat. Now, no amount of denarii will make me fight you.
You're on your own, Corvinus.
I will skin your face and drink from your skull.
A charming notion, but improbable. May I propose a different option?
There are no options. You will die now.
Or we can be sensible about this and keep him alive. He probably knows a lot about Lordco's plans. Besides, Corwinus is a capable and smart warrior. He'd be useful to us.
That is not acceptable.
Finally, we can stop watching our backs. Corwinus, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of this man and the actual murder of his service. You're coming with us. Corwinus is inside. His attitude has become quite a bit more cooperative overnight. He will talk if he survives, meaning if we can restrain Bestia. We all have different ways of dealing with grief. I've sent him away. He's probably drowning his sorrows in wine now. The consul has announced that he wants to question this criminal himself, so I expect him to send some of his lictors our way. We are prepared for them. Always. She was supposed to be here. I don't know what she's doing. At once.
Everything is silent. He whimpers like a wounded dog. But silence is in the air. He tried to lick me. His tongue is, but not all his teeth. He is not worth saving. For now, he is evil. Does not matter if he dies. He deserves eternal torment. Fine.
Well, here we go again. You want to try your hand at torturing me as well? Fair enough. I suppose you have some questions. Ask then. Let's get this over with. For too long, he hired me back when he assumed control of Weeksea. Of course not. Weeksea existed in one form or another for hundreds of years. Felix is only the latest of its commanders. I'm no fanatic, though. He merely hired me as a contingency. I am loyal to my contract. Besides, all of his loyal guards are dead, thanks to you. If I have to choose between loyalty and death, I don't have to ponder my options for long. It's not just money. Lurko is a very intelligent man, and I respect that. He plans ahead, and he rarely leaves things to chance. It is the first serious misstep I have ever seen him make. You have got him powerfully rattled. That's why he will never face you in the Senate. That's why he sent me to assassinate you at last. Not out of any personal animosity. With Marcellus and his useless brutes gone, it was up to me to finish the job. You asked the right question. He still has many allies in high places. Why would he risk it, indeed? My job was simply to get rid of you. The consul obviously hoped you'd get yourself killed in Gallia. I guess this was his contingency plan. You of all people should know that warfare is about positioning. Once you can cover any possible move your foe might make, victory is a natural outcome. Merely by trying to win from such a position, your enemy defeats himself. I would not bet on that. Look, I'm getting bored of this. We both know you're not going to kill me, and I've told you all I know. Frankly, none of this is any use to you. For all I know, me getting caught is part of Lurko's plan. So, hand me over to the authorities and let me face charges. Because that would be illegal, and you would have defeated yourself. It will never come to that.
No problem. See you soon.
Did he talk?
That is unfortunate.
What do we do now?
This is so unlike him. Usually he has a plan. I wonder if the whole Corwinus business was a distraction. Distraction from what?
That could be a benefit of all this, but if you couldn't make him talk...
Not a bad idea at all. The pressure on Lurko is mounting. Every man has a breaking point.
I took precautions. The Consul of Rome cannot leave the city unnoticed. I thought they'd be with you. I haven't seen any of your companions since yesterday.
Come to think of it, Cato wanted to meet us here too. But he's late. He should be here any moment now. Don't worry. Cato is a smart man who knows how to handle a gladius.
There he is.
Your Praetorian Guard is captured in front of the Senate. We must hurry. It seems he has them arrested for a number of crimes.
He is still dictator. He can do whatever he wants.
I fear there is nothing we can do to stop him within the bounds of the law.
Political theatre. He has gathered a crowd and he's calling you out. You must be very careful. The lives of your friends are at stake. I'll try to gather some praetores. This is blatantly illegal, but I guess he's finally given up all pretense.
He is desperate. Be very careful. Desperate men do stupid things. I'll come with you to witness the situation.
Keep him occupied until I can bring help. Don't antagonize him.
I will come with you as well. The Vestal Virgins will look after your mother.
Traitor to the Republic! Murderer of Romans! Enemy of the people! I have had your co-conspirators arrested, and they are patiently waiting for their moment of execution. But my own patience is wearing thin. I know villains like you do not have a sense of honor or virtue. Nevertheless, I know you were at least born Roman. If you have a speck of honor left, confess and surrender.
Consul, what are you doing? You can't publicly execute people without trial. Our laws forbid such despotism.
As dictator, prescription is well within my rights. The people of Rome saw fit to grant me that power. Who are you to question the wisdom of the people? As long as Rome remains in crisis, I shall remain dictator. Your traitor friends are rightfully apprehended. If you want them, you'll have to go through me. It clearly isn't. You are still alive, aren't you? The Gauls were going to attack Rome eventually. I just made sure their attack took place on our terms. So what? A few granaries were burnt down and some people died. We have lost 100-fold more lives in countless wars and no objections were raised. Just like our courageous legionari, their deaths served the Republic. Unless your intention is to bore me to death, I would like to start executing these criminals.
This is bullshit! Those people are heroes!
They've done nothing wrong! Let them go!
You have lost your control, Lurko. Look at the faces of these people, your fellow citizens. They're afraid.
Only criminals and traitors should be afraid of me.
They're afraid of what you have turned the Republic into. That fear will turn into anger the moment anyone decides to stand up and protect the Republic.
You're a good tactician. Consider your position now. Your prisoners are the only advantage you possess. But they're only valuable while they're still alive. The Legatus can wait until you turn yourself into a murderer.
Or we can simply kill you and save them all. Then you will have achieved nothing here.
You wouldn't do that. You're men of law and order.
Do not let us take your vengeance away. Let us die in honor.
Believe me, I don't want to die. But I also don't want to see you dead.
Don't let him kill us like this. Whatever comes next, we will stand by your side.
We will weather the storm as one.
Don't do it, my friend. If you strike him down now, you'll give him legitimate cause to kill you. We are not worth that sacrifice. You shall take care of them, and they can be proud of you.
Enough! Make your decision. As you wish. Who shall we take first?
Get it over with. Take me first. Then at least I won't have to listen to your drivel any longer.
Don't do this. You love him, and he loves you. He should not lose you. Take me instead. My time was always borrowed. I will see my sister again in the House of Song.
Don't do it! This isn't justice!
I decide what is just. Execute her.
You lip-dick coward!
Rest well, my second sister. I will find you in the afterlife, and we will hunt together again.
A traitor to the Republic has been brought to justice. I truly wonder what you will do now. I'm a man of my word. Effectuated by whom? I'm dictator in perpetual. I rule this city.
What's next? Will you have Pompeius executed too?
Calm yourselves! People of Rome, I am you... Don't you understand? A firm hand is what the Republic needs!
Despot! Tyrant! Down with him!
Get him! Put him down from there!
Get me out of here! Just get me out!
You're on your own, consul!
Coward!
Webius Vitellius Lurco, you're not going anywhere! Throw yourself at the mercy of the Senate!
You can't do this. You don't have the authority. Don't you dare.
Now that is a style of rhetorics I can get behind.
You won. My friend, you did it.
I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. It is good to see you up and about, though. You look better.
Such things are natural. You've been tested physically and mentally. Furthermore, you've triumphed over your opponent. That much is certain. Your friends did not give their lives in vain.
It should have been someone else. Deianira had no reason to give her life for Rome.
She didn't. She gave her life for us.
Lurco will certainly be exiled, or even executed. The Senate doesn't have a high opinion of traitors. Obviously, you will have to testify. I know. You paid a heavy price to keep it that way.
If you will forgive me for bringing this up, I believe this will be good for your political career. Why not? You are the right age to begin the cursus honorum. All senators have to start somewhere. As far as the Senate is concerned, you are a tragic hero who brought a corrupt consul to justice. Regardless of what happens to Lurco, Rome will need a new consul. And I can't think of a better candidate.
Cato is right. Both the Optimates and the Populares already support you. If you run for Senate, the election will result in a landslide win.
I have no doubts.
You did save them. Those who remain alive have you to thank for it. This chapter ends, and another chapter begins. Fortuna alone knows what the future holds.
So ends the abridged history of one of the most beloved consuls of the Republic of Rome. It is thanks to him and his efforts to thwart the corruption and ambition of Vitellius Lurco that Rome remains a proud republic to this day. With his allies in the Senate, he worked tirelessly to address the problems that had plagued the Republic since its birth. Though many among the people of Rome lamented what they saw as a lost opportunity to challenge the status quo, the strengthening of democracy greatly improved life throughout the provinces of Rome. In time, the savior of the Republic took his well-deserved place in history among such heroes as Cincinnatus or Scipio Africanus. Cinyros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cinyros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, he met his end with dignity and resolve. He had received forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. Caeso finally seemed to have had his fill of military campaigns. Together with Lucia and their daughter, he settled down in Rome. Though their relationship was distant at first, the shared love they felt for their daughter soon brought them close, and eventually they had many more children together. To his surprise, Caeso took well to the quiet life and to fatherhood. He remained very close with his old friends, with whom he often met to drink and eat and share stories of their old lives as the heroes of the Republic. Callida's second marriage turned out considerably better than her first. With her beloved husband committed to letting her live her best life, she was happy to settle down by his side, supporting him in his endeavors as he supported her. Callida was happy to find that it was possible to be a wife and a mother without giving up the things she loved. She taught their children archery and horseback riding, and nobody ever again looked down on her for her unwomanly pursuits. Bestia stayed in Rome and remained close friends with his old companions, going out of his way to stay in touch with them all, no matter the distance that separated them. He returned to the arena, but no longer as a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the story of his old magister Cinyros. Though it brought him little wealth, there is no doubt it made him happy. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life. Deianira had given her life for her friends with no hesitation, no fear in her eyes. The Amazon warrior knew that she had avenged her sister and forgiven herself for her misdeeds. She went to the Chinvat Bridge with her head held high, ready to be judged. Claudiana lived for many more years. She had many friends in Rome, and her life was peaceful and comfortable until her final days. On her deathbed, she revealed that she had once been very close indeed with Lucullus, and that indeed the true family name of her children was Licenia. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. Defeated once more by Rome, Mithridates escaped to the lands north of the Black Sea in the hope that he could raise a new army, but the locals soon rebelled against his rule. Incapable of taking his own life by poison, in the end, Mithridates died by the sword of his bodyguard. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Without the leadership of Damianos, the rebellion of his gladiators soon spiraled out of control, beginning what became known as the Servile War. Escaped slaves terrorized the Roman citizens throughout Thracia until the wealthy senator Crassus brutally defeated them and crucified thousands along the road towards Rome. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwytirchus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The defeat and death of Vercingetorix had reduced the once mighty Awerni tribe to a myriad bickering chieftains. Without his vision, his charisma, and his resolve, there was no unifying figure to rally around, and no way for Gallia to resist their slow but inevitable assimilation into Rome. Perhaps if Vercingetorix had lived, some of their culture or religion might have survived in some form. But surely they must be grateful that civilization at last was brought to their lands. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. In his darkest moods, the savior of Rome must have wondered if there was anything he could have done differently to save his friends. Perhaps if he had struck down Vitellius Lurco on that stage, or if he had gone so far as to bring his legion across the Rubicon, none of his companions would have had to die. But for those of us left to live in a peaceful and strong republic, what transpired seems like the best possible outcome. Our republic was saved, and the villain, Vitellius Lurco, was brought to justice. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.
What are you doing? You're giving up the high ground. This is what he wants. You'll be no better than him.
Don't listen to Cicero. The lives of your friends are worth more than your career. Let us end this.
Now you are going to die!
Leave some for me, sister.
You made a big mistake, friends.
Let's see how you handle us when we are free and armed.
They're everywhere!
Drop your weapon, citizen. Step away from the consul. It pains me to say this, but you'll have to come with us.
Do as the Praetor says. There's not much I can do at this point.
Why did you do this? Everything we've ever done. Was it all for nothing in the end?
It's a selfless act, Kaiser. The final sacrifice of the finest commander Rome has ever known.
If you think that, you are maybe not as smart as you seem.
Let's go.
You look miserable. You don't smell like you've had a bath in a while.
I had a chat with Cato. He says not even Cicero can save you. Why did you do it? We were ready to die for you. Thank you.
I see no reason why we have to leave you in there. You may be waiting to be exiled, but they will never let you live. You're too dangerous. So, do you want to get out of here? You can go to Egypt. Surely Cleopatra will protect you. Oh, my love. You think I will leave you alone with that woman? Not a chance. I'm not leaving your side.
You know I'd come with you in the blink of an eye. If it weren't for my family. This hero's adventuring days are over. I'm sure you will understand.
My place is by your side. That I owe to my magister.
I will come with you. I was planning to leave Rome already. And wherever we go from here, I will be happy for your company.
I was hoping you'd say that.
All right, let's start some trouble.
The story of the selfless savior of Rome has long since passed into legend. It is easy these centuries later to forget that in his time he was regarded as a criminal and forced to flee Rome with his friends to escape execution. We are more familiar with his legacy, the towering example of loyalty and righteousness that he came to represent in the years following his exile. He was a servant of Rome, who rose time and time again to defend the Republic in war and in politics. It was only at the very end, when the lives of his closest friends were threatened, that he turned his back on law and tradition. The example he set for his fellow Romans has endured to this day. It is said that he sought refuge in Egypt, where he was granted a palatial estate overlooking the lush banks of the Nile. Though he was no longer welcome in the Republic he had saved, he was still held in high esteem by many in Rome. And through his connections in the Senate and the trust Queen Cleopatra held in him, he maintained a great degree of influence in Rome as well as Egypt. Thanks to him, the already close ties between the two nations were further strengthened. Cineros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cineros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, he met his end with dignity and resolve. He had received forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. When his friends left Rome, Caeso stayed behind in the city to settle down with Lucia and their daughter. Though their relationship was distant at first, the shared love they felt for their daughter soon brought them close, and eventually they had more children together. To his surprise, Caeso took well to the quiet life and to fatherhood. And on the few occasions when he did feel that old lust for adventure bubble back to the surface, he would leave Rome for a time and visit his friends in exile. who were always glad to see him. Even though it began in exile, Callida's second marriage turned out considerably better than her first. She followed her new husband to Egypt, where she valiantly fended off Cleopatra's advances on him. She did not take quickly to the opulent luxury of the royal palace, but eventually she did get used to it. Callida was happy to find that it was possible to be a wife and a mother without giving up the things she loved. She taught their children archery and horseback riding, and nobody ever again looked down on her for her unwomanly pursuits. Bestia returned to Africa to look for his sister again. Eventually, he did find her, and together they returned to Mauritania, where they settled down in an idyllic village and started new families of their own. In this new, quiet life, Bestia learned the true value of happiness. Deianira followed her friend into exile. Rome had never quite lived up to her expectations, and she was glad to leave it behind. Eventually, she returned to her homelands of Scythia, where she reconnected with her family. But she always remained in contact with her friends, visiting frequently with new stories and exotic spices from distant lands. Claudiana lived for many more years. She had many friends in Rome, and her life was peaceful and comfortable until her final days. On her deathbed, she revealed that she had once been very close indeed with Lucullus, and that indeed the true family name of her children was Licenia. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. Defeated once more by Rome, Mithridates escaped to the lands north of the Black Sea in the hope that he could raise a new army. But the locals soon rebelled against his rule. Incapable of taking his own life by poison, in the end, Mithridates died by the sword of his bodyguard. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Without the leadership of Damianos, the rebellion of his gladiators soon spiraled out of control, beginning what became known as the Servile War. Escaped slaves terrorized the Roman citizens throughout Thracia until the wealthy senator Crassus brutally defeated them and crucified thousands along the road towards Rome. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwytirchus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The defeat and death of Vercingetorix had reduced the once mighty Awerni tribe to a myriad bickering chieftains. Without his vision, his charisma, and his resolve, there was no unifying figure to rally around, and no way for Gallia to resist their slow but inevitable assimilation into Rome. Perhaps if Vercingetorix had lived, some of their culture or religion might have survived in some form. But surely they must be grateful that civilization at last was brought to their lands. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. Might the Legatus and his friends have remained in Rome to influence its politics in the years to come? Perhaps if they had chosen to lead the legion across the Rubicon and lay siege to Rome itself. I believe if such a thing had been done, Rome might no longer be a republic, but rather an empire. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.